He is Buddy Sharp, hair expert, former official stylist to the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders during their Super Bowl winning seasons. And Buddy Sharp, how are you on this glorious Thursday?
Well, I tell you what, Ken Brew, I am so flattered to be talking to you, man. I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm happy to have you in here now, buddy. Now, anytime stress is involved, it manufactures itself and manifests itself in a number of different ways. It might be a rash, it might be irritability, and in this case, it could be losing your hair. This is not unexpected, right?
No, it's not. And through the craziness that's going on with this pandemic and all the stress that's related to that, one of the issues is going to be what you were talking about in the intro was the follicle. It's going to go dormant. And it's a temporary situation, but it usually takes 2 to 3 months for it to actually make itself known. So everything that you were going through back in March and April and May is going to start showing up in August and September. So, you're going to start seeing some thinning, but it's temporary, and there's things you can do to slow it down, and in some cases even stop it.
Still, okay. Now, I was told, we'll talk about that in a second, I was told that as a hair grows, as the hair on your head and perhaps other parts of your body grow, it goes through 3 phases. There's anagen, catagen, and telogen. Can you explain what those 3 phases are?
The anagen phase is when it's actually growing. And the transition phase is going to be the telogen phase, and that's why this is referred to as telogen effluvium. And it is just where the hair goes into a resting phase. And when stress is involved, it prematurely goes from the anagen phase into the telogen phase. So it's that resting period. And it's premature, so you're going to start losing hair that you normally wouldn't have lost.
So is this stress-related, Buddy? I mean, can this happen under other conditions? If you're stressed out because of a physical condition you might have or a family member that's in trouble, would this then be happening then?
Anytime that there is a heavy stress, kind of like when Joe Burrows wasn't under contract with the Bengals, I guarantee you the owner was probably losing a little bit of hair.
He doesn't have any. Buddy, he doesn't have any, so I don't think there was much to lose.
So it's okay. So it's okay if he was all stressed out. But I bet you guys are glad to have Joe back up there in Ohio.
Oh, yeah. No, we'll take Joe any day of the week. I guarantee. Over what we've had, we'll take Joe any day of the week. Well, let me ask you, Buddy, let me ask you this. You said there's a way to prevent it. Now, if somebody is looking in the mirror or maybe they're in the shower and they see hair falling out and they're wondering, my God, what's happening here? How can somebody prevent pandemic hair?
Okay, the easiest thing that you can do is you got to remember that what's going on is your body is kind of going into a survival mode, because when there's a heavy stress, your body is going to stop robbing nutrition from different sources in your body, and it's going to send it to the essential organs, those essential organs, right? Hair is not essential because your body doesn't care if you're cute. Your body wants to keep you alive. And so that's why the lack of nutrition is what causes the follicle to go dormant. And that's why you're going to start losing your hair. And that's the stress that's inducing that. There are topical nourishments, and my favorite is a botanical line because there's no side effects. It's called Monate. And on my website at buddysharp.com, I've got it highlighted, especially through this pandemic, and it'll explain that. And it's topical. You spray it on, and just in a few minutes, you have nourished and start to rejuvenate the follicle. So the hair that has not shed as of yet is going to start getting bigger, because when the bulb starts to diminish, it gets small and it sheds prematurely.
Yeah, well, see, that stands to reason, because if you nourish anything, I think of it as a plant. If you plant a tomato, if you don't nourish it, the tomato's not going to grow. So this is just a way of nourishing.
Yeah, your hair is dying on the vine.
So all of this that may be coming now, when people are scared to death, their hair may be coming out in clumps, the seeds of this were planted back in March and April. So this is just
March and April.
Okay, so if they're coming out now in clumps, and or even just a little bit here, a little bit there. You're telling me you spray this stuff on, and it'll put an end to it, huh?
It will slow it down dramatically, and it's going to increase the speed in which it will come back. Because when you feed it, it'll grow.
But over and above that, you've got to change your lifestyle a little bit too. You got to get stress out of your life.
You got to relax.
Yeah.
And you got to know that. Yeah, and man, this is so fun because I have always wanted to talk to people who do sports.
Yeah.
Because hair is so important. I mean, you think back to Namath with all that hair, and then with the Yankees, you had Joe Pepitone.
That was my guy. Joe Pepitone, yeah. He was the first baseball player to have a hair dryer in a clubhouse, and they looked at him like,
"Where did locker?" I mean, that guy. Oh my God, he was awesome. I was a much younger man back then.
Well, I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I mean, but that's men are taking more. You know, we see the commercials all the time. Hair club for men, or if somebody's gray, here's a touch of gray. You can put this and that thing. I think men are more vain than women. To be perfectly honest with you, I think they are more vain of a gender than women are.
Men are more vain quietly about it.
That's it.
They don't. Yeah, men don't just come right out, and where a woman will just tell you point blank, "I don't like this." Where guys, it's fine. I'm fine with being bald. No, they're not.
No.
Nobody. No. And so, but getting back to the stress thing,
yes,
and the whole pandemic thing, yes, you just have to relax, let that stress kind of work itself out, and then that right there is going to be your best medicine. But until people learn to relax and the country gets back to where it needs to be, then do something to keep what you have where it's at, on your head and not on the floor.
We're chatting with Buddy Sharp, hair expert. You can find him at buddysharp.com. We're talking about pandemic hair and why you may be losing hair over the stress of what's happened to us over the last 6 months. Buddy, let me ask you a question. I've always wondered about this. There are so many shampoos that are on the market, right? So many conditioning problems on the market. But a lot of them are glorified detergents, aren't they? I mean, it's almost like washing your hair with the soap you put in your dishwasher. How do you know if you got a good hair product to wash your hair with?
Well, I call it Tide and Pennzoil. Because there is one easy way on your shampoo. You just look at the back of the bottle, and the first ingredient is going to be a sodium lauryl sulfate. That's an industrial cleanser, and it was designed to remove grease from concrete floors. But it's such an inexpensive ingredient that they can throw it in there, and it creates lots of lather.
What's it called again? What is it called again? What is it?
Sodium lauryl sulfate.
Sodium lauryl sulfate. Okay.
Sodium lauryl sulfate. So if you see that in your shampoo, know that it's a chemical base, and so it's going to be a little bit more toxic. It's going to have about a 90% water to ingredient ratio. So we have luxury products that are a little bit more expensive, but instead of it being basically 90% water, it's only 48 to 50%, so you're getting double the ingredients, and you can use almost a third of the amount of product that you have to. So you're going to get longevity instead of the cheapness. Because like you were saying, there are products out there that you can buy that you might as well be using Tide and Pennzoil.
Yeah, no, that's good. I often wonder about that. Well, buddy, my great wish is that at some point these hairstyles, I love these hairstyles for women where they had a little bob, back in the 60s, that little bob. Do you think there's any chance they're coming back? Because I thought they were really sexy, to be honest with you. Are they coming back anytime soon?
Well, I'm going to pray not. But there is a great story behind that Dorothy Hamill bob that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And when they designed her hair, and this is so cool, when they designed that haircut, so that when she was spinning, it would go straight up.
Really?
So it looked, yes, and it actually looked like it. Yeah, if you ever get to look at an old clip of what was that, like in the 76 Olympics or something like that? Yeah, see, now we're talking about how old we are. That's the problem there.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've changed my hairstyle. I used to have it with it used to come down over my forehead, and I had long sideburns, back in the 70s and the 80s. And you know what? It was like 1998, and somebody said, "Dude, the 70s called. They want your hair back." And I said, "Really? Is this out of touch?" So,
I was in Los Angeles with a friend of mine, and we're driving down the road, and he looks over and he sees this guy with that haircut, and he goes, "Hey, dude, lose the do." It was hilarious.
BuddySharp.com. If you've got pandemic hair, he can help you out. Go to his website right now. Buddy, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Hey, Ken, let's pull for the Cowboys and the Bengals being the Super Bowl. How's that?
We'll see about that. I don't know, but we can dream.
Yeah,
Thanks, buddy.